Hello friends, and welcome back to the Mothership. Today we are going Thanksgiving style with our barbecue and doing our very own bone-in turkey breast with a honey cranberry rub. Let's get started. This is a turkey breast. You can get a turkey breast. I've only really seen them with the bone-in to be frozen. I've never actually seen a fresh one. But a turkey breast is essentially just, the midsection of the turkey with the wings and the legs removed. There's no giblet bag, nothing like that. It's just the breast meat on the bone, which is what we're looking for here. I'm not doing legs or wings today. Now, as far as cleaning this sucker up, I'm just gonna take off some of the excess skin around the neck that the butcher left me, and then just look for anything hanging off that looks kind of gross. Don't have to go too crazy here. Now, it's important to recognize when you are buying a frozen turkey that 9 times out of 10, they have brined it. That is important because if they didn't brine it, I would brine it before we put this turkey on the smoker. Same way I do my chickens, I like to have a brine because it allows the moisture to really stick in the bird a little bit more, and it's less likely it's gonna burn out. So I know that this one specifically has been pre-brined. I think they do it because it allows it to freeze a little bit better, flash freeze when they put it into the freezer to send out to the grocery stores. But if I hadn't, I'd be using my standard ratio of 1 tablespoon to 1 cup of water. Since this is brine, I'm gonna do what I usually do. I'm gonna rinse it off completely, pat it dry, then we can move forward with getting together an interesting rub for this little birdie. For our rub, we are leaning into the Thanksgiving theme here, and we are basing it around cranberry powder. This is basically just dehydrated cranberries that have been powderized. We're gonna utilize that and some honey and make something really interesting. To make our rub ratio, we're going to have a teaspoon of our cranberry powder, a teaspoon of honey granules, a half teaspoon of garlic powder, a half teaspoon of dried rosemary, a half teaspoon of brown sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, and a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. Now this isn't a ton. Obviously this is probably not gonna be enough to do my bird, which is 5 pounds. If you're doing a much bigger one, you're gonna need more as well. But this is the ratio. I'm probably gonna triple this and use this to coat down our bird. With our rub together, it's time to get this bird rubbed down. Now I'm sure you're gonna know that this doesn't have any bit of salt in it. That's because it is brined. We obviously don't need to salt something that's been brined. So let's get this whole bird coated down. I didn't go with the binder here. I didn't think it was necessary. You could absolutely use olive oil if you want, but this bird is moist enough that I think it'll just adhere on its own. I'm going to pay special attention to the top right here. This is where the money maker is. This is what we care most about. This is the breast meat. This is where I'm going to focus most of my dry rubbing. Make sure I get this completely coated down. And that looks pretty good. Now, as we've been doing this, I had my smoker going up at 225, getting it up to temp. At this point, it's going to go directly onto the smoker for a nice long smoke session. I have our baby gobbler on. I have our smoker running at 225 degrees. I'm gonna run it like this for several hours, get as much smoke on here as I can, and then I'm going to put some butter on and start basting this and bump the temperature up to really crisp up that exterior skin. This should take quite a while. I'm thinking maybe 6 hours, but maybe plan for 7 and then just be ready to rest it. So I'm just gonna let this do its thing, run at 225 for a while, let the smoke build on here. And my apologies for it being kind of dark in here. I have my rain canopy up because it looks like it is about to start pouring. But let's let the machine do its thing. Our little gobbler has been on for about 5 hours. Internal temperature is somewhere between 145 and 150. So what I'm gonna do now is just start basting in butter. This will start to tighten the skin, crisp it up a little bit, and then when we actually go to really nuke the skin at a temperature around 350 or so, this will actually really get it nice and crispy. But let's just get some butter on here and then let it keep doing its thing at 225. I'll probably start to bump the temperature up about 158, 155, kind of somewhere between 155 and 160 at the thickest part, which will be somewhere in between the 2 breasts. We're at about 162 degrees on our turkey, and it is looking really good. I've been basting it down for the last, I don't know, 45 minutes. At this point, we are at almost 7 hours, so I was about on point. I put my mix for my stuffing, just to smoke it up a little bit. I know I'm using instant stuffing, don't judge me. They didn't have any of the bread that I wanted to make my own stuffing, so we're gonna do instant stuffing. And I am going to get it smoked up, as you can see, just get some smoke flavor. At this point, I'm gonna pull it, I'm gonna wrap it in tin foil, and then we are going to move ahead with making our stuffing, our green beans, and then see how this all comes out. Now this 5.5 pound turkey actually took about that 7 hours I thought it might take. We smoked it at 225 for about 6 hours, and then we started to bump up the temperature and baste it down for the last hour until it hit that internal temperature of about 160 to 165. And since this is a Thanksgiving meal, guys, I had to steam up some green beans, and then I also took our breadcrumbs for our stuffing and smoked that up to add some more smoke flavor, really get this barbecue taste onto this Thanksgiving meal. I'm super thankful to chomp into this, guys, and I really want to see how this cranberry rub is going to taste. So it's time to give it a chomp. The cranberry is very subtle here, along with the honey. This is not overpowering in the slightest, but it does have some really good seasoning to it. And if you're not a huge fan of overly fruity flavors or overly sweet flavors, this is a good one to throw onto your backyard turkey. It really does have a good barbecue flavor to it because it's got that nice smoky flavor. It's nice and crisp, kind of like we would do a Yardbird out there. But this gobbler definitely has some Thanksgiving vibes to it because of that cranberry and because we have some stuffing and green beans. Guys, you should absolutely give this a try if you're looking to do that barbecue style for your turkey. It really is a very different experience. It's not the same as, you know, making the standard turkey in the oven, but it really has a nice barbecue vibe to it. Definitely recommend it. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are down below if you give it a try. If you like this kind of content, give me a like, comment, subscription, all that YouTube jazz. And as always, guys, cook something fantastic, and I'll catch you on the next one.